The tundra may not quite be frozen, but it's getting there as we work our way through December. The radar today, however, is clear at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. Taken in at the 3. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. Room to run at the 50. Still going inside the 30. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown. So a heck of a start to this one. We haven't even gotten settled in already in the end zone on the opening kickoff.
And you know what happens, too? Now you got to translate what that means, because I think for the team to just score, their defense, I think they'll be more aggressive now. They'll be bold, and they're playing with a lead and an early one and some momentum. So if you're the offensive coordinator on the other side of the field, you better be prepared for some heavy pressure coming your way. They're going to try and get another big score and a big one early.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. It didn't take long to see our first penalty of the game, did it?
We always talk about everyone wanting to get into the game in a hurry. The officials did as well.
The holding penalty sets them back inside the 20 as they get going on this drive. Purdy looking to throw on first down here. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Carter. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Working with a 2nd and 4. Purdy. Back-to-back catches here for Carter. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. So we just called his name on the previous snap, and they go right back to him, Charles, for a 2nd consecutive completion.
Yeah, I think what we're discovering on this drive is that he feels like he has answers no matter what defense you throw up there. He reads it, finds the open spot, and is available for the completion.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able... That's the 45.
A gain of 16 yards. And the Saints first down.
They'll look to throw again. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And he's brought down. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. Back to throw again. Delivering another one here to Darren Waller. He's got it again. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A big play that time on the catch and run. 31 yards. First and goal, and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Saints drive it right down the field to score on their opening drive. Extra point right down the middle, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, second down. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. A throw over the middle taken in. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain there of 30 big ones.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
He's going to launch this deep for Watson. And this is caught. And it's a Packers touchdown. Christian Watson, 43 yards. And the Packers have taken the lead. The extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 14-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Yeah, they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week, and you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
Off the play fake. Frost. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. 3rd and 7 now. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Open target here, Darius Slayton. And they work this well upfield across the 45. First time that they called his number tonight, and it gets him a first down. Operating from the gun, Frost. He'll get that one to Carter complete. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. Again, he'll drop to throw. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's a gain of 31 with right around 1 minute to go in the quarter.
Well, that's something that this defense is not going to be able to allow if they're going to have success here. They've got to be able to wrap up and get guys on the ground. They end up letting him get away, and it turns into a big...
And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Saints are an extra point away from drawing level. Point after, right down the middle. And we are tied at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter. Now Jones is hit. He lost the football. The Saints say they have it, and they do. That's probably bringing back nightmares of last week, isn't it?
No doubt about it. Right now I'm looking over at the coaching staff, and I'm seeing the wheels turning in their heads. And you know what is happening? They're remembering how they started the season.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is caught. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. A big play there. A touchdown on a kick return and now one through the air. And the Packers are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. The extra point up and good. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. They'll look for a drive to tie this up, down 21-14 as they have it 1st and 10. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Well, the connection they've had has been excellent today, but not on that snap. I think he was asking just a little too much as he extended that play, hoping for one more completion with it.
On 3rd and 2, Frost. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
4 yards.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
And his kick here is good. Well, Charles, the NFL record is 66 yards. That was 5 shy of that, but only a handful of guys have ever connected from 61 or deeper, and he can add his name to the list.
Yeah, more and more guys are trying it. That doesn't mean the success rate has gone up. That is a long kick. Guaranteed, when he turns on his phone after the game, a ton of congratulatory texts will be awaiting him.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete, and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. And go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down. They need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line. So that now 2 consecutive drives that have ended in interceptions. You wonder if he's trying to do a little too much out there.
Oh, I like where you're going with that maybe he's pressing it a little bit, trying to be too fine with his throws, or maybe...
And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Bryson Hopkins, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Packers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Now the extra point try forthcoming. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
Looking to throw on second down. Frost. There's Chris Olave. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. A short one here secured by the tight end Waller. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a second and short. Operating from the gun, Frost. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him, let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Able to break through that initial contact. It winds up getting about 3 there. It's second down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Second down, another shot for Jones. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Jones scampering home from 19 yards out. And the Packers continue to pull away here in this first half. Extra point splits the uprights. And a rout is on here in this first half. So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
But based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
41 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. I always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Up the middle, Jones. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Now Jones. And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. Aaron Jones with his 19th touchdown, his 2nd of the game. And the Packers just continue to roll. And oh, it's blocked. The Saints have got it. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. He's at the 40, 20, 10, and he takes it the distance across the goal line for 2 points. Well, I think there was a lot of surprise from the kicking team there. After the block, they kind of froze and then realized, oh, wait, they can return this, and they returned it all the way.
And you know why they froze? Not often do you get that second sound, right? There's the kick, you hear that, and then there's that second thud when there's a block. That's when people freeze and they have to realize where the ball is. They picked it up and took it the other way.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hand.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Operating from the gun, Frost. And this one is incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Oh, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ballgame.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say...
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offensive coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. A shotgun handoff to Henry. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This a 43-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we're at halftime here at Lambeau with the Packers taking the lead to the break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, and we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is,
and now here is another interception. Picked off by Eric Stokes. There he goes, right side. And into the end zone. It's a pick-6 and a Packer touchdown. And, Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick-6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. As confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Off play action. Frost. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And into the end zone. It's a pick six and a Packer touchdown.
Well, whatever adjustments they're trying to make over on that sideline, Charles, this defense, this just seemed to be a step in front of them and not giving them a chance to implement any of those changes. And here, a pick six, and they widen the lead.
At least a step ahead, maybe even 2 steps. But right now, they are thinking hard about putting this opponent away. That turnover, it grew their lead and just totally deflated that offense. Now these next couple of series, you can take them out of the game entirely if you continue on this pace.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't want to admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered, because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Frost. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line.
This offense returning out there, and really, you remember the last drive, Charles, it was over before it even began. They threw the interception on the very first play.
And what that means is for all these,
taking it right down Broadway. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Jones with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Packers get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
The point after is good, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 88 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. Hands it off out of the gun. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Off the bootleg. Frost sliding out of the pocket. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
I like the design of that play, or shall I say the way it ended up. Quarterback ends up to the right side. You know, it gets outside of the pocket. How about the tight end staying in his sight line and getting to that same part of the field? And they find each other for the completion.
And right side, Henry's got it. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And now here is another interception.
Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down.
Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, I mean, talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him to find him. Find him.
He'll look to throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Paulson Adebo. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football.
Tenth carry now for Derrick Henry. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Meanwhile, the throw here is complete.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Running from the gun with Henry. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
The Saints on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Back to throw. Frost. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there. 29 yards. And the Saints get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit. Point after, up and good, as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And this crowd has certainly liked what they've seen. Their guys fully expected to win this one coming in, and they have not. And he loses the football a second time. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. And a little careless there, Charles, on that carry.
And it's not just having 2 hands on the ball. It's tucking it away. It's using your body to keep people shielded off. It's so many different things into taking.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Jermaine Pratt fighting in and dropping him for the loss. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And, that would get a wind-up incomplete. Nearly an interception in the end zone. Probably should have been. 3rd down coming up. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This officially a 55-yard attempt, and he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line.
We've paid this offense plenty of compliments already, but, I mean, they are deserving as they start another series. To be leading by this much with so much time left to play in the 4th, Charles, it's really, really been impressive to watch.
It has been, and you have to think to yourself, the preparation that went into this, but the absolute focus that they kept throughout in order to have this kind of a result, this is Super Bowl-esque, and they've got to feel awfully good about what they put out there today.
They go play action here on 1st down.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down. But at this juncture, CD, you normally see teams pack in the passing game. They've got the huge lead. Not them, though. They're still taking their shots.
I remember reading in past history, there was a college football coach in the Hall of Fame whose nickname was Close the Gates of Mercy. He wasn't really big on that. He was big on going ahead and scoring.
This is caught inside the 15. And he's going to be out of bounds all the way down inside the 15. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 47 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Bryson Hopkins. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Packers look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Extra point safely through. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. Taken at the goal line. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpire's got different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
Operating from the gun, Frost. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. He's going to air one out. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Darnell Savage. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete. But Charles, they're still airing it out at this point despite that huge lead. And some people may be saying, well, why are they throwing the football? These guys, I guess, are just padding their stats at this point.
Yeah, there are a lot of big grins, I think, from people in their families, from themselves. You're exactly right.
And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far.
Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore.
And the Saints are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the...
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Past the 20. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Point after, right down the middle, as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. I'm just wondering, do they want to add on to this gigantic lead? My guess, given how they like to play and how explosive this offense is, Charles, that they're not content being up by this margin. They probably got a man. It's caught inside the 10.
And that looked almost to be a case of, a quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished.
And he made that look effortless, didn't he? I mean, he's had a great game throwing the football, and this is going to add to his yardage total in a big way. It's one thing to be accurate on your short and intermediate throws, but when you're hitting the bombs like those, look out.
And they will take a knee here. One back in the game. That's Jones, 2nd and goal. And they take a knee. And now can they reverse the trend on 3rd and goal with the last 2 plays having gone backwards? And they'll indeed take a knee. Fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.
So for Green Bay, they continue to make their case for the playoffs as they move to 9-3. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Buffalo Bills. Meanwhile, for the Saints, it was a win they needed to turn the season around, but instead, they fall to 5-7. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers.